So there's no you to become whole. There's just wholeness. There's no you to become this. There's just this. Just literally this. Whatever's happening right now, this is everything. I was thinking today about the heavy burden of being a doer and thinking that you're the doer. Here it was a huge burden. Because with being the doer comes guilt, shame, regret, worry, fear. Did I do it right? Maybe I messed up. Could never really relax if I thought I was having to be the one to make it happen. But what if that was never the case? What
Mm.
if it's been this the whole time?
Mm.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear, Michael.
Mm.
It's funny because most of my years as a seeker, right, it was trying to get to this. So you can see that's already starting from separation or two. There's something trying to get to something else. It's never going to work.
Sometimes there can be an appearance that there's someone sort of allowing the flow of life. So it's a good reminder that there isn't an allower there.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. And even if there is a feeling of an allower, that's this too.
Yeah.
There's all that doing to it, and then you try even harder. It gets even more of a burden.
Mm.
And then it seems to break you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what suffering does. That's the gift of suffering. I heard Adashante talking about being stubborn. He said I was a tough nut. He goes, I mean, it just, I don't know, I can relate because you just want to figure this out for yourself so badly.
It's really serious until, you start really doing it, taking it very seriously, and then it seems like the doing actually gets rid of you.
Nice.
Uh,
Well, I kept having the thought that life couldn't be this hard. Like, intuitively, I felt like I was making something much harder than it needed to be, but I just couldn't put my finger on what that was. And it turned out it was it was me.
Yeah.
Hi, Nina.
Hi.
And Nina,
Hi, everyone.
welcome. Mhm.
Yeah, we're having art time with Alexis.
Hey.
Not
Hey.
non-duality in art. There you go.
Got her outfit on too. The outfit.
Hmm. But I mean, the burden of
Yeah.
thinking you're the doer is so heavy because that's what gives like guilt a place to sink its teeth in, and shame. And oh man, I could have done it better. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Radical forgiveness.
And then all the time, it's just identification with thoughts. It was always thoughts. That's all
Mhm.
it was or is. Just thoughts and being identified with it and believing that I am the thought, that I have to do this. You know, when I a couple of years ago when I was doing this inquiry, I was like, wow, all of this is just thought. But there's really, in seeing that there is no one here, I just noticed hands were typing, eating, and it was just like watching the body do what it's doing. It's like, wow, this is always it was like it was like what the fuck, it's like because it was so simple and so natural. It was almost like a cosmic joke. Um, but there's a freedom, even though it's not a freedom for anyone. It's just a freedom that arises. A sense of relief was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that what the fuck part, because I got into like Eckhart Tolle stuff, which was great because he had a lot of great pointers there, but I kept going. I went into a whole another fuckery, believing that there was an I who's identifying with the mind, and so now the I is trying not to identify with the mind, and all that's happening is identifying. Because what is an I and what is a mind, but being identified. So it's just seeing once I seen the identifying, it's just identifying happening. It's not even a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wonder comes back, and I just curious about all this identifying. This, oh, look at all the identifying. Couldn't miss it anymore. Couldn't fall into a trap. It was like, who's falling into a trap? There's nobody there. It's just identifying happens. These thoughts are talking about something that's, well, not really there. They're talking about themselves, but they act like they're not talking about themselves.
Yeah.
And all along, everything was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fine. Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Mhm.
But it insists
Yeah.
that something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like
Gotta
all
get.
these words everyone's speaking is just all the same. Like they're not coming from anyone different. It's a just repetitive talking.
Yeah.
But there's nobody behind the talking.
Mhm.
Yeah, just like an animal, like a bird makes a sound
Yeah.
or, no plan, just like it's just as
They're
meaningless.
just doing what it's just they're doing what they're doing and there's nobody there to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, animals are great teachers as far as nature. When you watch them, they don't have narratives going on in their mind. They're just appearing and doing what they're doing. And they're constantly mirroring back to me that this is what this is. It's just the body doing whatever the body is doing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
taking parts of a tissue sample from a body and putting it under a microscope, and then you see little microorganisms carrying about their business, just like the body seems to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
If like for me, if I could just be in the body when somebody asks me for a favor and there's a contraction in my body, if my thoughts weren't getting in the way, I would always be like in alignment with that message. Like, no. The body's like contracting, no. But the mind comes in and starts narrating and going, oh, they got this story and they really need your help, blah, blah, blah. And it's like it takes over. And
Mhm.
then the mind goes, oh, yeah, okay. And you say, yeah, you end up saying yes, but the body already had the answer.
Mhm.
But the mind overrides it.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's the problem. It's like, just never mind the thoughts. Just listen to the feelings in the body. Just it knows the answer already. We just pay attention to that contraction in the body. Oh, it's an indicator. That's how I'm living my
Yeah.
life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the old thoughts are just old. They're not working. They're not working out.
It's almost like the body rebels against the mind at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's done listening to the tyrant.
But whether that's really happening or not, I don't know. It's just I can feel the contraction in the body, and it's like like a alert, 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 alert.
A report. Yeah.
And that's the reality right there, or the sensations that you're experiencing rather than the
Yeah,
thought.
that's real.
Yeah.
But the thoughts are just blah 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 blah, talking something else.
The feelings are direct and immediate, where the thoughts kind of act like an intermediary. They got to tell you everything, tell you what's going on, how to look at it, what you are, who they are.
Yeah.
Uh.
I like no thank you. It's so simple, it's so easy.
But what if whatever happens is
I
is
know.
is
But
okay?
but it's not been okay. Like it really I became feeling hollow inside. Like there's a hollow feeling empty, hollow. I know it's still this,
Yeah.
but it got intolerable where it's just you can't do it anymore. Like it's not a you, but there's just something that switches.
Yeah. So let's go into that, Nina, because that's a good
Yeah.
point. When something becomes so painful, like a
Yeah.
thought, like a repetitive or negative emotion or depression, like what is going on there? It's so painful.
Like, do we have to get to the bottom of the barrel before the switch happens? Like, why?
Well, it's just like in a way, it's like wanting us to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a red alert.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend not to heed it. Like we keep going and no, it's just saying, no, just stop.
Yeah, the contraction is actually the true message, not trying to get rid of the contraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually looking at it, feeling into it. It's trying to tell you the truth
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to get rid of it. Like, ew, we gotta pretend we don't have a contraction. It's like, no.
It's like it alerts you to even seeing what's there as far as what beliefs are popping up and what the body seems to be reacting to.
Mm-hmm.
Like
What's the story?
it's perfection. Like the contraction is perfection.
Hmm?
It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the
No.
mind says it's a problem. Got to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Hmm.
But it actually is actually the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Like
fun thing is, it keeps the mind going too the whole time. It's trying to got to get rid of this, and so I can continue, keep going,
it's like
so I can stay in control and try to stay safe. And it doesn't ever stay safe because it's always attacking itself while it's trying to stay safe.
yeah, it's just all a big misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Who is feeling into the contraction?
It's just a decision or a permission to let the contraction have a voice or something. Like it's just there's an allowance, but I don't know who's doing it. It's just there's a decision made that there's going to be an allowance to listen to that contraction, feel it. What if it had a voice? What would it say? Like these are the things that's happening now for me.
So there's it's not up to us. It's just going to happen if it happens. The allowance
Yeah,
is going
because
to happen if it happens, and not
I
if it
couldn't have
doesn't.
done it 5 years ago, but if you know what I mean, like I wasn't ready to listen to the contraction, even after much um
But
like healing work.
yeah,
Even the mind wouldn't allow the contraction to actually be felt. And then all of a sudden one day, oh, it's allowed. Like there's who's making the decision? Nobody knows.
Part of the identity here as being a believer for a long time and going through so many different belief patterns and so many different belief systems, I didn't seem to even understand that even what a belief was. until I really looked at it, like, what is a belief? And then seeing that they're actually just thoughts. And then I believed, well, I either hope it's true or I hope it's not true. And that's all
Mhm.
that is. But I don't know either which way what any of that is. And then what's telling me that? What's telling me what I believe? It's knowing. Knowing tells me as a knower, and I am the knowing. I'm also that, but the knowing's not telling me that. It's saying, no, you're just a knower. Then you're the source
Yes.
of the knowing. So it's like the knowing is hiding from itself, and it's only because it's like the source of insecurity. So it's always saying, "Oh, go find more knowledge." And eventually, you'll find that knowledge that'll set you free and empower you. And it's endless. It will never stop. It just keeps going on. When you think you found something, then you stand on that, and you become insecure, and you want to defend that position.
But there's nothing wrong with any of that process.
No,
It's
it doesn't. It just doesn't go anywhere. It's just life. Life.
no,
That's it. It's not
but
trying to actually
it's
get
gonna
anywhere.
go, it's gonna last as long as it lasts.
Yeah, until
It's
it
just
just
gonna
seems.
keep going around in circles until
Right.
it doesn't.
Right. And this doesn't seem to mind whether you can go 101 years being a believer or seem to wake up from that. It doesn't show any partiality either which way. You're not better just because all of a sudden you seem to awaken from that dream. It does feel, I mean, we can say it feels better, but what are we really saying? It's all this. All the feelings are just this anyway.
Yeah, feeling better and feeling worse.
It's all
And it's
this.
like,
Yeah.
what's really the difference?
All right.
Right? It's just
All right.
another part of the dream.
Yeah.
And we
It
get
all,
attached to one and fearful of the other.
it all feels, and it all
Yeah.
feels, whether it's fear or it's love, we're just feeling this. This is what we're feeling, this aliveness. That's it.
Yes.
Huh.
It's yeah. Yeah, there's been a big fear of uncomfortable feelings
Mhm.
for a long, long time here. It's just as soon as there was an uncomfortable feeling, it would just get repressed and
Yeah. Mhm.
it was out of my control even. It was just something that was happening and
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't change it like until I could one day. It's like, I don't know when when the switch happens, it just happens. I guess it does have to come to a point, like Michael says, where it's just too intolerable. And then something switches on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows when the apple is ripe. The apple's ripe when it's ripe. It
Yeah.
falls off when it falls off.
Yeah. And then when you look back and you go, oh, I suffered so much, but it's kind of gone. Like a lot of people don't have suffering anymore. But yet they had to go through it. Like
Yeah.
it had to go be felt.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Process.
this isn't, I hear that like, oh, there's no more suffering, but I don't buy it because
well,
for me, there's just what's happening.
Mhm.
right. So the suffering is the resistance in my head. That's how I define suffering as resisting what is.
Right.
So Michael, you're saying if there's suffering going on with you, then there's just suffering going on with you.
Yeah, because there's just what's happening.
It's just what's happening.
Literally.
So it's
Yeah.
not about being free from suffering. It's just whatever is happening.
No, yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I can sit on the couch and go,
Yeah.
oh God, I'm suffering.
Yeah.
And then, but
Yeah.
it's like, what? Like, how am I, what's really happening, right? What's the reality, not the story?
It's always the story comes in afterwards when it's already happening. It's already in the midst of happening. And good luck trying to undo what's already in the midst of
Like,
happening.
it's like, well, if there's crying that wants to happen, then let the crying happen.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to solve and try to keep it all repressed and try to
It's like,
figure
it's
out
like
a distraction.
that's like wholeness. Wholeness is trying to escape itself, which is impossible. And
That's
it feels like you're tearing yourself in half. So you're not. So it's good luck trying to get away from what seems to be happening. It's just not going to happen because that is wholeness. But the one that's looking for something that feels like something's missing from itself is what's actually missing. It's not actually even really there. But it puts itself in the middle of everything and says, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. It's unwanted. It labels it unwanted and wants to repress it. And then it starts looking, oh, let me look up some videos and try to, how can I deal with this? How can I get rid of this feeling, get past this suffering? Instead of just feeling, if you just drop down into the suffering, even though there's no you to really do that, but it seems like you, just like in a lucid dream, you wake up and realize that you're the whole dream and there is no choice and stuff. But then you say, you know what, I'm just going to play because the dream doesn't stop. I'm just going to go ahead and fly off now. I'm going to just fly and jump to the moon. I'm going to do whatever I want in this dream now because it's just a dream.
Yeah, no, I know. For me too, like emotions is a huge thing in the last 2 years, just sitting with it. Like this morning, there was sadness that came through, and there were stories about the sadness. But it was like you said, it was like a movement. I don't like a movement to just allow the feelings to be and the emotions in the body. And I could feel it right in here. And then before I knew, I don't know, an hour later, I guess, I didn't time it, but it was no longer there. And there was a time when emotions would come and thoughts would come and stories, there would be more attention to the story,
Right.
and it would feel even worse because there was so much attention. But then the attention, well, what is the attention? Right?
Mhm.
So the attention goes straight to the body. And to me, I think it's beautiful because there's no really healing or any of that anymore. I feel like I have to heal or anything like that. It's just whatever arises and just feel into it. The mind doesn't like change. The mind doesn't, and I can see it. I can see it when the mind starts, coming up, and there is some resistance that come up, and even that's part of it too, the resistance. I remember being in the airport, I don't know, a couple of times, a lot of times actually, where resistance would come up, and I would just sit, I would just watch it, like just see it come up. I could feel it in the body and just be okay with it. Be okay with the resistance. There's a big difference. Uh, like there's a movement to the okayness of it, even though it feels like shit. There's just a movement to it, and then it goes on its own. And before I know it, I don't even remember what the story is. There's a lot of forgetting going on here. It's
Yeah.
almost, it's like dementia, or I don't know.
I-
Amnesia.
like stories just drop in mid-sentence. Like, oh, what was I talking
Yeah.
about?
So Indira, I love your story. Who's doing that? I love when you talk about moving into your emotions,
Well,
into
there's
the
no one.
feelings. I love it. So but you say that, and I get it, and I want it. But I'm always asking, who are you referring to that's doing that? Because I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do what you do. It is one of my practices. So I get confused when you say you did it, because I always go, well,
Hard to
Who's
put
if
it
I'm
trying,
doing it, I'm
Don,
trying.
who's trying to get it?
Yes, exactly.
Well, that you will in the process that you're doing. Yeah, who is that? Who is that? Or what is that that's doing that?
Well, it's hard because I'm using language. Language is hard.
Right. Yeah.
Language makes it difficult because it kind of cuts up the reality of what I'm saying. But it's just a movement. No, really, no one. I mean, it's just a movement.
It doesn't really have to do with the self at all anyway. It doesn't, there's
No,
not really a separate self there to begin with. It's just a recursive thought loop that keeps claiming ownership of it, and it makes a
unsaid.
problem out of it.
Yeah, unsaid and unspoken. It's experiential. You just see
Yeah.
this. When you're walking in the park, Don,
Right.
notice your legs walking. It's just legs moving. And notice, like I said before, when you would go to the bathroom, and early in the morning is the best time. Notice when you get up to go to the bathroom, there's no thought. The body just does what it does. So it's fascinating to watch when you're doing things throughout the house or your apartment or whatever.
Like you're the controller of the video game and you're playing your character. So everything's in third person instead of first person.
Right.
And yeah, and there's not to say that there's no character being played, because when I go to work, I play the character of Indira, the flight attendant. But I can see that. I can see that that's all it is. But it doesn't mean that's really what I am or who I am.
No.
Even seeing through the self, it doesn't mean the selfing stops. Just there's no entity that's really at the end of that selfing process, which is nothing more than a mental activity.
Yeah, the selfing. Yeah.
Yeah. It still continues. The selfing still goes on. The language still goes on. So you still play the roles. Just like you wouldn't, just like it is in a dream. You realize, hey, okay, this is a dream. I'm not really this body. This is not who I am. This is not my real life. But you still, and you still play in the dream. And you still answer to the name. You still talk to the other characters just like you would anywhere else. But then there's just to realize realization that I'm not just this thing, I'm the whole dream that's happening.
Mhm.
I watched an episode on zoology, that movie with the rabbits really fast, and he's talking really fast to the sloth behind the counter, and the sloth is saying everything really slowly, and the rabbit is going crazy with impatience, like just give me the number already, and he's saying it really slowly. It's like just to feel into how, like, feel into that, the difference. Like, I notice when I talk really fast, I'm not in touch with my body, but when I'm really slow, then it feels like I get more in touch with the body,
Well,
the
it's almost like
sensations.
it's like I'm watching Alexis draw. There's no thought to her drawing. She's just the body's just drawing.
Mhm.
Just she's not
Yeah.
thinking about it. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When the eyes blink, there's no thought to eyes blinking. The body swing, there's no thought to the body swinging. It's just happening.
Yeah, you don't have to think about the heartbeat, it just does it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel my heartbeat. The heartbeat's racing because I had caffeine. That's the story, but it's really going fast. When I put my hand on my chest, there's just more awareness, and it's like, mm.
Yeah, there's interference with the interference and interference with the interference and interference with the interference until there isn't.
Mm, beautiful.
And that's all. It's all part of what this is. So it's all equally perfection. I don't know what else to say
Yeah.
about it. It's like it just each moment, with whatever content is in it, is equally. It's equal. It's the same.
Sameness.
But it can feel different, but it's still all the same.
Well, uniquely this, so it appears as everything unique.
Like dopamine hits and boredom. Like it's all just, yeah, it's all just what's happening.
Mhm. It's all experience.
I think, yeah, it's just all allowance, and then there's resistance to that allowance, and then there's allowance again,
Yeah.
and then there's resistance again, and and it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, whatever, but the story happens too.
So, but the allowance and the allowance and the resistance isn't a choice. It's just happening. So
Yes.
if you're sitting there
Mm-hmm.
and contraction is happening and you're going crazy, you got that's tough. I mean, it's like bad luck, as you could say. Or if you're sitting there and bliss is flowing through your body, and
Yeah.
you go, that's also not you. That's just happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I get confused. Like, well, what do? Just sit around and hang out and wait and see what happens?
Well,
Well,
That's serious.
whatever's
that's
going
just
to
another
happen
thought.
is going to
That's just
happen.
another
Another
thought.
thought, exactly. It's just
What? I missed it all.
It's just another thought that you asking.
I'm looking for a purpose
So no one wants to know.
to be.
Actually, letting go of a purpose feels good. too.
But who's doing that?
Yeah.
It's just another thought. What's the source that activates all of this story that's going on?
Okay.
There's no source. There's no creator and creation because it's the same thing.
It's not the split. Yeah.
Right.
Is there energy?
The
Like the
one
yin and
thing
the
can
yang.
They're
appear
just
as
words. Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
The one thing can appear as anything.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the knowing
But
wants to
that's
know
not the
why.
truth.
Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead, Gregory.
Oh, the why will never end. It wants to know why. It's like a little child wants to know why.
Yeah.
It's just one rabbit hole after another. And
Yeah.
all it does is just fuel the stories. And so the stories, it's like the stories want to be alive as stories. The aliveness wants to be alive as a story, but then wants to hold on to it. Like, because, oh, I don't want to lose this life as a story. That's what the story talks about all the time, that it has a life and it's managing a life and it has things to do and doesn't want to die. But it's always dying. It's always dying in this.
I have a question. Is there still experiences of wanting someone else to change their thinking and behavior?
Wow.
Yes.
That's a good one.
And do you feel superior
Yes.
when you overcome that? You're like, oh, I'm so good now. I don't need to change anybody.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Or do you feel like a failure if like it's just no, it's just asking questions and noticing. And
Mhm.
that's just all there is.
Yeah.
It's just
Are
asking questions and
you
noticing.
asking for a story?
No,
Okay.
no. It's just something to notice.
That's a beautiful question.
It is beautiful.
There seems to be less angst, less resistance when there's a just an allowance of everyone to be just as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just feels easier to live this existence. It
Yeah.
feels more flowy or whatever. There's not,
Yeah.
because I don't want to be living in this resistance. Like it sucks. It doesn't feel good. But
Yeah.
I'm noticing it when I'm in resistance and then saying, okay, if it had a voice, what would it say? Like that's how I ask the question instead of making it the bad guy. Resistance is bad. It's not, it's
Yeah.
neither. It's good or bad. It's just wanting a voice.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes it could be hard to hear that there's just what's happening
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't give you any power.
No. Don't even- Makes you feel powerless. The me wants power, it wants control. So
But
it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable that way because it can avoid its discomfort that way. It doesn't have to
yeah,
drop into the.
this is another level of, this is another level. Like the non-duality is another level. It seems like beyond um, trying to get somewhere.
Well, there's all the mess. It's just saying it's so simple, right? Like not
Yeah.
to, just what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like there's somewhere to get before this realization happens.
Right.
And even that isn't really a happening. But
It's like you're always in
Yeah.
constant fight or flight mode when trying to survive all the time in that story.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was sharing with Michael and
Wow.
Leela and Jenny a while back. There were these worrying thoughts that were coming through, a lot of that were arising at work, and the uncomfortability of it, because I can honestly say there was a moment of belief in those thoughts, and then all of a sudden I just sat with it, and what I realized is that all and every thought that arises here is just another opportunity to see that everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
here
And
I
that's
am.
how it just, all the seriousness just explodes.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I felt this okayness. It just like, just came through. Like everything is fine. The story says it's not, but it's just a mirror to look
Yeah.
that. So I look at them
Yeah.
as like little mini miracles that are just, they're just showing up just to show me that everything is okay, even though,
Yeah.
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 You're like more like an
Beautiful.
untouchable, like a
Beautiful.
untouchable from the story. You can have the most stressful story and still be in the story, still be experiencing all of the craziness, but there's still that untouchable place within us somehow that it's not, it's all okay
Yeah, it's not affected.
Yeah. Yeah.
simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's never not here. Michael posted something, peace is not found in the approval of others, that one. And it's good because I was at a meeting last night and there was a parents and they're dealing with their child and his wife moved in. They're trying to help him, but at the same time they feel guilty for enabling in a
Mm-hmm.
way, in a
Mm-hmm.
certain way. But yet in the moment, we do what we do and then we drop it or we feel guilty or proud.
Mm-hmm.
You know
So
what,
yeah, go
Manny?
ahead.
Thanks for saying that because that's one of the things the changes I've noticed for me here is you're talking about Al-Anon. I went to that meeting for like 22 years, and sometimes I'll just go. You know,
Yeah.
there's no more a feeling that I have to go to get peace, but there's just a curiosity just to be around connections and friends, and I'll sit there and I'll hear some of the stuff, and what's beautiful is like it's all about behavior, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes last week I had snappiness going on, and there's no more guilt here. It's just, I was sharing with a friend, I said, it's hard to put into words, but it's like, there's no more guilt
Right.
for whatever the body does because it's gone. You know, it's,
It's total freedom.
yes. And whereas
Yeah.
for them, it's important that you don't react, you don't, but the truth of the matter is reaction happens here. And
Hmm.
there's an okayness with it.
Yeah.
And so there's none of that beating up of the self, if you will. It's just not here. So it's interesting to go back into the dream world, to do what the body did before, and to also see the changes here, which has never really changed, but it kind of like fell away. There's no more that, Manny, that, well, I need to do the 10 step. And, if I snap
Oh.
at
Yeah.
somebody, it's wrong. And I remember beating the self up, like there was thoughts about it and there would be guilt, but there's none anymore. Like,
Yeah.
there was some anger that came up last week, and I was like, "Rawr," and it just came up, but there's no like any more of a narrative that I'm entertaining anymore that I have to be better as a person. Well, what is that? You know what I mean? It's just if amends
Yeah.
are needed, then they come up. But either way, it's all fine.
Right.
Rules equal resistance.
Exactly. So, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean, Manny?
Yeah.
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 There was a time I was really struggling with that resistance that was still coming up, and after seeing that there was no self and there was just the selfing, it didn't matter. There's still a struggle going on, and I reached out to Angelo DeLulo and was talking to him about it, and then he reflected back to me. He said, it seems like he goes, you're very clear on that. You notice the thoughts that you see there. He thought, but you could be clearer. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'm listening. So he said, just pay attention to the subtle thoughts, and I said, oh, subtle. And there was just curiosity there. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know what he was referring to. I said, but I trusted in that he was seeing something that I just wasn't seeing. And so I said, okay, subtle thoughts. I didn't know what to look for or anything. There was just curiosity. And the next thing I noticed is that there was a subtle thoughts coming up. And the subtle thought was something, resistance came up. And it's immediately when the resistance came up, the mind says, oh, it identified the resistance. That's bad. That's wrong.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it immediately created it doubled down on the resistance to resist the
Yeah.
resistance.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt so horrible. I was like, whoa. And then I backed up off of it. Once I saw that, it was that easy. It just kind
Yeah.
of called on its own. And there was just a plain resistance there. And I was like, I'm okay with this resistance. This
Yeah.
is
The
fine.
first resistance is fine.
Yeah, I was like, there's
There's
nothing
nothing
wrong.
wrong.
And I was just able to feel it in the body, and it almost like took over the whole body and pushed the whole sense of a sense of self that was there. That was gone. It was just full on resistance, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with this body can handle this resistance.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Yes.
to analyze it or anything. It just kind of
No. Like
it
that
just
first
it
resistance
moved
has
through.
a beautiful message. It's just feel me.
Yeah,
It's
that's all
not
it
about
wanted
the
to.
mind. Shut
Yeah.
it down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like all it wanted to do is just get its time in the light and just be what it was, and then it just dissolved on its own. I was like, that was nothing. That was so.
That is really a real key thing,
Yeah,
is to just feel it.
yeah,
That was
With-
one of the things I noticed too, was that the body is fully capable of handling any and all emotions, whereas
Yeah.
the mind would say it wasn't.
Yeah.
Experientially, it
Yeah.
really can. Yeah, and
and,
it
that,
just
that's the mind. It's trying to protect, but at the same time that it's protecting, it's also attacking. It can't do it because it's split. It's always
Yeah.
split, so it always thinks it thinks in a very binary way. It says, "Oh, I'm this way, so I'm not the opposite." But it always has the opposite because what else is it comparing itself to?
It
It
just
can't
feels
get
good
away
to
from it.
catch it. Like
Yeah,
catch that subtle thought. Just catch it and
yeah,
see it.
yeah,
Recognize it.
yeah.
And then it doesn't have any more
It loses its
power.
power. Yeah, and it becomes very intuitive at that point because it's just like, oh, the body already knew how to do this. The mind doesn't know what it's doing.
But I wanted to ask Manny, did you understand what I was saying? Did that make sense?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. It really does. And one other thing, I was trying to say that once we make a decision to do something, thought will doubt that we made the right decision, and then we feel guilty or bad or whatever every time, and regardless of what the decision is. So it's just that's a dualistic part of thought, and it can't help it. It just works that way. And so you kind of pause and back up and say, am I dealing from my will? Generally, that's what thought is, just my will going at it, trying to come up with the right decision to try to help somebody else that it can't help.
Can't even help itself.
That's the thing. We don't look at ourselves to see that why am I compelled and obsessed to try to help another when I'm fearful if I don't do the right thing. And I'm coming with guilt, fear, anxiety, and that's what I'm bringing to the table to try to help another.
Right.
And so physician, help thyself first. That's the thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a story about that story. I intuitively felt that it was time for my cat to be put down. She was 23 years old.
Wow.
And so the intuition, like the feeling was, yes, it's time to put her down. And it felt very loving. And it was coming from a place of celebrating her life and that it's time. And yet, just before the vet was coming into my house, not before, but the day before, I started having doubt. And it was toxic energy that was coming in. Doubt, scary, you're killing something, thou shalt not kill, blah, blah, blah. Like it was just negative and threatening. And I could recognize that it wasn't helpful.
Right. Self-loathing.
Yeah. And then I thought about the other intuitive feeling side and how I love her. And it just felt right that it was time for her to go, like put her down. And so I went through with it without guilt and without doubt. I let all that, I just released it and let the flow of love and kindness and celebration, and I buried her, and everything was beautiful. Like there was tears and there was sadness and all. It was all allowed. It was all allowed without all this
Mhm.
negative talk about you shouldn't have done this. Maybe you should have stayed, you should let her live another 4 years or whatever. Like, and I just
But
let all that go.
I hear mercy in that when you're saying all that. When you're
Yeah.
speaking that, I hear mercy, and then the judging thoughts, I don't hear any mercy there.
What I noticed too is that just like what you said, thought needs to justify what it's done, or else it'll keep on coming back. It's like this little imp saying, well, did you do the right thing? Is it? Uh,
And and I
so,
can say it was the right thing. The music was soothing, the candles, everything was placed perfect. Like everything was set up for a beautiful transition or whatever you call it. I don't even,
Mm.
it was just her
yeah.
body relaxed and she went to sleep. And it was
Oh,
perfect.
Beautiful.
Except
Beautiful.
she bit my finger because the first poke freaked her out. So I have a little memory of her still.
oh,
That's
She had her
beautiful.
have that was her last say, like she had to have
Yeah.
go out with the "Rawr." But
Yeah.
it was all yeah, and
But
and today no, I didn't even miss her. It was almost like she's inside of me or something. She's just living
mm,
mhm.
and there's no real loss. There's just love.
Gorgeous.
mm, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Similar to a person that dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no holding on and wishing or hoping or praying, or maybe I should have taken her to the vet and put her on all these medications for another 3 years or
Hmm.
whatever. Like, no,
Hmm.
no, no, no. That doesn't feel good.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just, there's just a willingness here to release all of the negative talk.
yeah.
Indira, there's also that attachment to another, especially parents to their siblings. And that's what's hard because they're actually trying to understand it and stuff. But then you have the relatives that say, "Why come you're not doing anything to help them? How come you're not enabling them more?" In other words, doing what they could do for themselves instead of allowing them to live the dignity to live their own lives and discover what they need to discover.
And that's what I used to notice in the parents' meetings, the one that you're talking about, I used to go to. And what I noticed was just how do I say this? I just felt like as I'm saying this about them, I also saw that in here, but
Yeah.
I don't have children, but I would do it with people, use them as a distraction away from here. So it's an unconscious distraction away from them because once they release their kids, they live and let them be, then they have to focus on themselves, and a
Yeah.
lot of them don't want to do that, and that's okay, like I can clearly sense that with the parents. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Well,
such a
letting them
relief.
be in their resistance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, a
like
lot of
Michael
people.
was saying. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Michael was saying you could feel the relief when you let go, when you release the attachment. It's like you have a chain, and I'm obsessed over them. I need to do something, but it's just a thought. It's my conditioned thought that says I must do something, or else I'm
Mm.
because the guilt is just too much. I just can't deal with the guilt.
Yeah. A lot
Well,
of
like
us.
this whole talk it feels like there's still a goal though, right? It's like, oh, we're here to let go and release and all this stuff. It still seems like a doing,
Well, what if
Yeah.
there's
right?
Yeah.
awareness without someone being aware
Hmm.
of it? It
Right.
also it's almost like the seeing without or noticing without somebody there to notice. It's just this
Yeah.
that's happening, and it's happening to no one that's separate from
Hmm.
this.
Yeah. Well, you can also see a lot of people go into becoming a parent and having a family because they're looking for fulfillment, and then becoming a parent and raising a family. So then they kind of avoid that discomfort in themselves, that unfulfilling feeling that they have in them. Then instead of going into that, they try to find something else to put into that, like trying to find love into other things instead of finding that love within themselves already. That's their
Yes.
Distraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm finding, as far as controlling goes, which is what I'm hearing here, is like, so I've always tried to get rid of control because, go get out of control, look at me, why am I controlling, that kind of a process.
Mhm.
And that never gets me very far the way I do it. So what I've been practicing is that so I'm just going to say, if controlling is going on over here, I'm just going to let it be there. So I try to totally control my wife, totally control my son. And that's like bad, wrong, doesn't work, da, 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 da. It's all me, all the spiritual answers. But that doesn't work for me. That hasn't. So I'm going, okay, I am trying to control my wife, tell her what to do, how to do it, how to think. I mean, I can get really control-y, and my son and everybody else, the rest of the world too, but I live with them. And it's like, if I really say, hey, Faye, that's her name. I say, I'm so trying to control you. Do this, do that. And I really get into it. When I do it that way, there's a lightness about it.
Mhm.
There's not like an anger or a frustration about it. It's like, this is what I am doing. So it is sort of like being responsible. I am doing this. I am trying to control you. I'm going to keep going. And it just shifts the whole thing. So I'm allowed to do what I'm doing and without even changing it. But then there's the magic happens when I allow myself to be as I am and what I'm doing, there does seem to be a lifting or a lightness that lifts it all up.
You're not judging it either, Don. It's like not good or bad. You're just letting it be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then she gets to respond in however she wants to.
Yeah, right. And I have to give her that too.
and Don, when I hear you say that too, you're trying to get rid of the controlling. It sounds like a double downing on the control. You're trying to take control of the controlling. Wow. So then the other way,
But he's
kind of
calling it
releasing.
out as well. He's calling it out.
He's releasing it at that point when he gives into it. He's not trying to build any resistance towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
So this simplicity of just what's happening.
This is all that's happening. This is just a bunch of people talking.
And there's a painting.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
I love your dog too.
there's a little quote here that I found that I've been meditating on all week. It's just one line. It says, "Know that I am with you. I bring about the difficulties and I overcome them."
Aw,
Beautiful.
simplicity. The forgetting and the remembering. It's just one circle. Like, that's how I see it. It's just a wheel turning really fast and there's no separation to it.
Yeah.
This is my sweetheart apologizing. I paint people doing things I want them to do sometimes.
I love it. That's great.
He brought me flowers.
I love it.
Gorgeous.
It is.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful, Alexis.
That's so great. See, it's all love. See what Alexa
All
showed
love.
there? That was love.
Yeah.
Nothing needed to be said.
Yeah.
There's no duality almost. Just love, oneness, love.
Yeah.
Just love.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love appearing as like, do what I want now.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Got it. That's good.
Or else.
Thank you guys so much for a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Mwah. Mwah. Love you guys.
Have a good
Yay.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.